We certainly saw a lot of high-profile failures in the gaming industry in 2024, but we also ended up seeing some big-time success stories, sometimes from games that we didn't necessarily expect to have the impact they had, including Helldivers 2. Not only were the sales off the charts, especially in the first several months of release, but it also felt like it became almost a cultural phenomenon for a time. And then Sony revealed that not only was it a big success, but it was also the fastest-selling game they've ever had. Helldivers 2 is PlayStation's fastest-selling game ever. Steam-fueled sales hit 12 million in 12 weeks, beating God of War Ragnarok. Now, certainly a lot of context goes into that because this was something that came out on PlayStation and Steam instead of waiting, 2 or 3 years for it to come out on PC like some of the other exclusives have done. But there's no doubt a ton of people were playing Helldivers 2, and it was a massive, massive success. Well, now, the CCO and the game director for Helldivers 2 has came out with an interesting statement, and some people in games media, they aren't very happy about it. Helldivers 2, Dev says, make good games, not contemporary political statements. Arrowhead Game Studios exec was asked about DEI in the sci-fi shooter, and you can see Vice right here. I'm still trying to grapple with the comments made by the Helldivers 2 creative director regarding DEI. Well, the reason game journalists are trying to grapple with it is because he basically came out and said what all common sense normal people believe. Stop shoving this shit into games when it doesn't belong. Helldivers 2 director weighs in on DEI in games. If it doesn't add to the experience, it detracts from it. Helldivers 2 creative director Johan Pelestad, I don't know how to say that name. I'm never going to be able to say his name right. It's my best attempt possible. Has shared his perspective on DEI in games. Games should be a pure pursuit of amazing moments. When Helldivers 2 launched earlier this year, obviously this was written it was written on January 1st, so really early last year. Fans of the original were thrilled to dive back into the chaotic cooperative battles that made the series a standout. The game's detailed worlds and intense battles against alien foes like the newly introduced Illuminate race were met with high praise from fans and critics. But as the game expanded its universe, it sparked conversations beyond gameplay, touching on hot topics like representation and DEI in gaming. Well, now, Arrowhead's chief creative officer, I think he was the CEO until recently, but now he's the chief creative officer and creative director of Helldivers 2, Johan Pelestad, posted a thoughtful question to fans on Twitter. What are your expectations and desires for what the next Arrowhead game will be? I'm working on a high concept, but would love to hear your speculation. And this is the thread in question, posted on the last day of 2024. Someone says, never add DEI to your games. If it doesn't add to the game experience, it detracts, and games should be a pure pursuit of amazing moments. Now, clearly, in that case, it seems like he's saying, yeah, you should never just add representation for the sake of it. Add this DEI stuff just because you're trying to check boxes. 100%. How would DEI have benefited Helldivers 2, someone asks. I don't like labels, but mankind is united in its extreme xenophobia on Super Earth. Hashtag inclusion, so maybe that's DEI? Not necessarily. I really don't care. Make good games. Don't make a contemporary political statement. This is the type of energy that we need more of in the gaming industry. It should be focused on creating great moments and great games to entertain the audience. It shouldn't be focused on shoving this modern day type of political message down people's throats. Now, is this kind of like a satirical universe? Absolutely it is. But there's a difference between that and some type of modern political statement. We all understand what that means. Now, of course, games journalists are freaking out about this. They're terrified of this. They hate this because they want the status quo to remain. They want these companies to continue to fail as long as they're pushing the right message. And over again, we're seeing a lot of studios that are now getting so much pushback from gamers, from the audience, the very people that you need to buy this slop. They're getting a lot of pushback, and people are turning to everything else. And Helldivers 2 certainly had some controversies of its own, especially when PlayStation wanted people to link their accounts, all of those things. But overall, it was a massive, massive success story. And a lot more companies need to have this type of policy. Hey, we're not focused on checking boxes. We just want to make great games. If it doesn't add to the experience, it obviously detracts from it. And some games journalists over the next couple days, you're going to see them very, very pissy and upset that someone would say this. But Games journalists can go fuck themselves. People don't care what they think anymore. The only person that matters is the customer and the audience, and they're loving this type of energy from the Helldivers 2 creative director. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.